What is good, everybody? It is Spill here, and welcome to another NBA 2K Lab video. In this video, we'll be going over our defensive badge tier list for NBA 2K23. This is our third tier list this year, and if you want to see our in-depth shooting and finishing badge tier list, we'll leave those in the description down below. And if you want our playmaking badge tier list, let's see if we can get this video to 3,000 likes. Now, if you've watched our tier list videos before, we always start in the C tier and work our way up to the S tier. And for this particular video, we're going to go over the defensive badges for guards on the main screen, and then on the side, we'll put the tier list ranking for bigs so we can cover all the bases. Now, before we get into the tier list though, I want to give a quick shout out to my good friend Wolf, as he helped us put this list together, and I also want to give him a big congratulations for joining the dev team at 2K. I know he's going to do some great things over there, so if you're watching this right now, show some love for Wolf in the comments. Now to start, we have Brick Wall, and as a guard, this badge doesn't make much sense with screens seeming to hit pretty frequently this year, and this badge is definitely not needed as a guard. As a big man though, this badge vaults into the A tier as it becomes infinitely more useful on a big man and definitely helps your guards get open. Now for Menace, we have it in the C tier for guards, as this badge requires you to be in good defensive position when the shot goes up. Now look, contested shots are already going in at a much lower rate this year, and you don't really need to boost the contest of an already well contested shot. Now for bigs, it requires the player to be 6'10 or shorter, so we have this in the C tier, as this badge was made more for guards anyway. Next, we have Off-Ball Pest, and this is another C tier badge. There's just far too many other good badges you should be equipping, and this badge doesn't work great in the first place, so we have it in the C tier for guards and bigs. Now for Pogo Stick, we have it as a C tier badge, as it doesn't make much sense for guards to equip, but for bigs, it's in the A tier and is a lot more practical. It's a great badge if you have extra points to spend, and it works on both rebounds and block attempts, and when paired with fast twitch off an offensive rebound, you can get a putback layup before the defender even has a chance to react, and because of that badge synergy, we have it in the A tier for bigs. Now the post lockdown badge obviously doesn't make much sense to have on a guard, so we have it in the C tier, but for bigs, it makes only a slight leap into the B tier. Post moves are a very niche style of play, and it's probably better to spend these badge points on something more important, because with good timing and anticipation, this badge isn't needed as much as you think. Moving on to Rebound Chaser, and for guards, it's obviously a C tier badge. You can save your points and let the bigs grab the rebound, but as a big, it's an S tier badge, and you'll definitely need it at the highest level to grab all boards. You don't really need much explanation for this badge. Now finally, moving into the B tier, we have ankle braces, and this badge doesn't seem to work as good as it did last year, and with less people using the ankle breaker badge, this badge loses some value and doesn't seem to be as necessary. For bigs, it's a C tier badge, as you'll be guarding the paint more than the perimeter, so it obviously doesn't make sense for this badge to be any higher. Now next, we have Box Out Beast, and I actually really like this badge for guards, so we do have it in the B tier since it's very cheap to equip and can help your bigs secure the rebound that much easier. Now it's obviously not a great badge for guards, but it can be useful if you have some extra points laying around. For bigs though, it's in the A tier, as it's a great badge to ensure rebound positioning, and especially if you're a center with lower strength, having Box Out Beast at a higher level will definitely help you from getting wormed. Now for Chase Down Artists, we have it in the B tier for guards, and even though Chase Downs were nerfed this year, they can still be effective for guards that invest in a decent block rating. Now if you have no block, this badge doesn't make sense to invest in even with a single badge point, but for bigs, this becomes an S tier badge, especially when paired with Anchor. It's going to allow you to get more aggressive block animations, and you're also going to get a minor speed boost when trailing the ball handler, so this is definitely an S tier badge for bigs. The Anchor badge is a great defensive badge for all builds, so we have it as our first A tier badge for guards, and it makes sense to invest in since it's a tier 1 badge for all builds 6'5 and under. Provides an intimidator effect, so even if you have no block, it can be worth equipping. As a big though, it's an S tier badge, and if you're trying to lock down the paint effectively, you need to get this badge on as high of a level as possible. Next, we have the Interceptor badge, and this badge has always been a staple for defense, and this year it's no different with it being in the A tier for guards, but being 6'8 and under, it's a tier 3 badge, which makes for a very heavy investment. The wise move would be to core your glove badge as a priority and then use those extra points on Interceptor after. For bigs, if you have steal, you should definitely be equipping this badge, and for players 6'10 and up, it's only a tier 1 badge, making it one of the best bang for your buck defensive badges for bigs. Now we have the Pick Dodger badge, and since screens feel really effective this year, this badge is an absolute must have for guards, which is why it's in the A tier. Bigs obviously don't get screened as often, so for that we have it in the C tier for those taller players. Now we have the Workhorse badge in the A tier, and this is a great badge to have on, especially for players focused on defense, as it will help in those loose ball situations and give you an upper hand in gaining possession over players without the badge. Now we have it in the A tier for both bigs and guards, but especially for bigs since it's a tier 1 badge for all builds 6'6 and up, and it provides a great return on investment. Now Challenger is an S tier badge for guards, especially guards with a long wingspan, and it helps provide a more effective contest. Now this badge is similar to Intimidator last year, but of course they split the badge up into Anchor and Challenger to differentiate the two. For bigs, it's still in the B tier, as it can be effective effective, but you're more likely to be contesting shots in the paint than on the perimeter, so for that we keep it in the B tier. Now these last two badges go into the S tier without question, and as you can see we have clamps and glove, and we'll talk about clamps first. And obviously as a guard, this badge is the go-to badge to lock up ball handlers and cut off driving lanes. Not much really needs to be said about this badge, and you want this as high as it goes. But when it comes to bigs, you need to be 6'9" or shorter to unlock this badge, and there's definitely better badges to prioritize anyway, so for that we have it in the C tier. Now the glove badge goes S tier, of course, without even thinking about it, because steals are obviously really good this year, and if you can get glove to at least silver, it's definitely worth the investment on any build. For bigs though, it's still really good, but most bigs don't typically have a high enough steal rating to take full advantage of this badge, so for that we have it in the B tier. Now I'm going to put the full tier list for bigs up now, and feel free to pause it if you want to take a longer look, but that is all we have for this defensive badge tier list for guards and bigs. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below your favorite defensive badge, and if this video helped, don't forget to drop a like. If you want our playmaking badges tier list, like I said before, let's see if we can get this video to 3,000 likes, and with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.